Democratic governors are rising up and they are becoming our first line of defense to protect us from a man that has cankles so bad that they're muffin top kanks. So muffin top kanks wants to militarize everything because he cannot take his agenda to Congress. He cannot take it to the ballot box because it's wildly unpopular. I saw a poll today that only 21% of the American public, only 21% strongly support Trump's agenda. So you have 20% of the country that all of these blue states have to pay for their fucking racism because they're parasites that want to suck off of what the working class does. And so Wes Moore is somebody who is rising up right now. He is the governor of Maryland, sharp as a tack, cute as a button. And here he is on the weekend press rounds.
Are you so opposed to this deployment?
Well, there's plenty of reasons. One, it is not sustainable. You cannot continue this type of pace of operations, particularly when it's costing over $1 million a day in order to do this. The second, it's not scalable. You're not going to be able to do this in every single major American city, particularly when many of the cities that have the highest crime rates are the places that have actually deployed their National Guards to Washington, D.C. So who's going to go do the work in their cities? The third, it's unconstitutional. It's a direct violation of the 10th Amendment. And if for a party that talks about state rights, it's amazing how they're having such a big government approach in the way they're conducting public safety. The fourth reason is because it's deeply disrespectful to the members of the National Guard. As someone who actually deployed overseas and served my country in combat, to ask these men and women to do a job that they're not trained for is just deeply disrespectful. And so when we're thinking about all of these lasting factors, when we're thinking about the fact that it serves as a distraction from the fact that the president's disastrous economic policies are making everything more expensive for everyday Americans and making life harder for everyday Americans, there is a multitude of reasons that I am against this, and I will not authorize the Maryland National Guard to be utilized for this.
Mic drop. Love him.
Love him. He doesn't mess around. He says exactly what it is. The red cities that are sending their National Guard have higher crime rates than D.C.
Well, and they're parasitic cities.
Absolutely.
I mean, all of these states, Texas, parasite state, takes so much more money than they give. Our state, Oklahoma, takes so much more money than they give. And we have all of these blue states and blue cities that are funding these dipshit red states to undermine democracy. And they want to talk about states' rights all the time. Women in our country don't have the right to go see an OBGYN without gross people, closeted homosexuals like Lindsey Graham, all up in your vagine. It's disgusting. It's disgusting how hypocritical the LGBTQ plus movement is that lives within the MAGA movement. All right. So Trump was watching TV, of course, because of the aforementioned muffin top kanks and the bruising on the hands. Per Alex Jones, he's going to collapse within 12 months. And he gets on Lie Social, of course, because he's 4, and he pops this out. Governor Wes Moore of Maryland has asked in a rather nasty and provocative tone that I walk the streets of Maryland with him. I assume he is talking about out-of-control crime-ridden Baltimore as president. I would much prefer that he clean up this crime disaster before I go there for a, quote, walk. Wes Moore's record on crime is a very bad one unless he fudges his figures on crime like many of the other blue states are doing, which right there is a window into a soul that his default setting, he telegraphs everything that he does. He fudges numbers. Kanks, muffin top kanks fudges numbers. Okay. Then he goes on, but if Wes Moore needs help like Gavin Newsom did in LA, I will send in the troops, which is being done in nearby DC, and quickly clean up the crime. After only 1 week, there's been no crime and no murder in DC. When it is like that in Baltimore, I will proudly walk the streets with the failing because of crime governor of Maryland. P.S. Baltimore is ranked the 4th worst city in the nation in crime and murder. Stop talking and get to work, Wes. I'll then see you on the streets. Also gave Wes Moore a lot of money to fix his demolished bridge. I will now have to rethink that decision. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again, President Muffin Top Kanks. Okay. That is so stupid.
It's so stupid. And what amazes me that surely people get it, but the infrastructure bill and then the emergency action by the Biden administration,
right.
Donald Trump did not give money to rebuild that bridge. And let's just say Donald Trump did not write a check out of his own pocket. That is money provided by the American taxpayer. And for him to say, I gave money and I'm going to rethink it. So basically, if you say something against me, I'm going to take money from you. You know, Stephen Miller, if they don't like it, we're going to send more troops. It's fascism, full stop.
Okay, next up, Wes Moore responds to Muffin Top Kanks. President Bone Spurs will do anything to get out of walking, even if that means spouting off more lies about the progress we're making on public safety in Maryland. Hey, Donald, we can get you a golf cart if that makes things easier. Just let my team know. And based on the information that I've been seeing on independent media, Midas Touch has covered this extensively. People with dementia, they do this walk. They have a gait where they drag one leg in a semicircle like this. And if you noticed when Trump, Muffin Top Kanks rolled out the red carpet for his boyfriend Putin, he couldn't even walk in a straight line, and it's because of that dementia walk. And so, I mean, I think that Kanks does need a golf cart. And I don't know what all this stuff on the hands is, but I would think they're juicing him. They would have to be juicing him.
I think that it has some. I look at him, and I've had a lot of old people in my life, and I see congestive heart failure. So I think they're giving him transfusions or something in his hand. There's no question. Not only is he dementia ridden, he is also physically health failing.
All right. So Trump is so triggered by the offer of the golf cart because, you know, Trump fancies himself an athlete, and clearly he is not. So now he cannot be a grown up. So then he has to get on Lie Social, and he says, did Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, lie about getting a Bronze Star? This coming from the guy that wakes up every morning and lies all day long, that lied about having bone spurs so that he didn't have to go serve in the military, that called troops suckers and losers, that made uniformed officers, uniformed military members get on their hands and knees to roll out the red carpet for a murderous dictator that Donald Trump should have arrested on sight. And instead, he had our military roll out the red carpet. He doesn't give a shit about the military, and MAGA, you don't either. You claim you do, but you use them as props to make you feel like a patriot. But every single time it comes time for you to vote for their health care and take care of all of the damage and emotional toll that happened to them in war, you vote it down. You always vote to fund the war. You never vote to fund the soldier or their families. Every single one of you are hypocritical liars. All 77 million of you. Hillary Clinton didn't go far enough. You're not just a basket of deplorables. You're heaping piles of dog shit that use the troops as props to justify your abject racism. It's disgusting. All right. It's very important during this time frame, you guys, that we stay focused on what is real and what isn't real, because Muffin Top Kanks lies 24/7, 365. So every morning, Pumps and I log on to our favorite app, Ground News. And here's just a prime example of how two headlines are shown here. The left reports the following: should be terminated, in quotes. Trump menaces ABC and NBC in midnight outburst. And it shows that this is high factuality, and the right frames it as such. Trump hits ABC, NBC as fake news, said he'd support FCC revoking license. And so what you can see is that they're suggesting that this is appropriate, that they're suggesting that this isn't an attack on the First Amendment. And the way things are framed is the way that fascism and the way the media can help assist it. They can help assist it along by normalizing it. And that's why every single morning, this broad and I get on Ground News, because it sorts it all out. So listener, join us by going to groundnews.com/IHIP to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan that Pumps and I use every single day. They're subscriber funded. And our favorite part is they are female founded. By subscribing, you're not only getting a tool we all need today, you're also supporting our work. That's ground, GROUND news.com/IHIP. Kylie's pinning this right below in the show notes. Pumps, after he accuses Wes Moore of lying about a Bronze Star, And I think, do you remember, like, didn't he want to award himself a Purple Heart, Trump, or didn't he say he deserved a Purple Heart?
And a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah. Okay.
And that he was a war hero.
Okay. So then just what we were talking about in that Ground News ad read, he is attacking anybody and everybody, whether it's the governor of Maryland. He wants to attack him. Anybody that says anything that exposes who he really is, because this man is a malignant narcissist. So any scratch behind that, and you have this narcissistic attack back. And the ABC and NBC obviously hosted Wes Moore and others, and he watched the Sunday news because he's infirm. He's very sick. He has these problems with his hands and his cankles. So he has to sit around in his recliner at the White House and watch TV all day. And so this man does not support the Constitution. This man does not support the First Amendment. And he puts this out overnight. Despite a very high popularity and according to many among the greatest 8 months in presidential history, ABC and NBC fake news, two of the worst and most biased networks in history, give me 97% bad stories. I'm shocked it's not 100%.
Right.
All right. If that is the case, they are simply an arm of the Democrat Party and should, according to many, have their licenses revoked by the FCC. I would be totally in favor of that because they are so biased and untruthful, an actual threat to our democracy, MAGA. So what he's doing right here is he's priming the public that anybody who says anything bad about me is saying something bad about you. And so we're going to have to take away free speech because none of us can hear anything bad about ourselves because they're pussies and titty babies.
Well, what's so alarming about this is CBS News is not mentioned because they bent the knee. They have zero problem with him. He doesn't say anything about Fox News because they propagandize him full time. You look at the universities, you look at law firms, you look at the Smithsonian, you look everywhere you look. He wants it to be just how great he is, full stop. Who does that remind you of? Kim Jong-un, Putin. I mean, these are scary times. And for people to act like they're not is a concern.
And here's the thing that I think will go down in history. If you fast forward like 50, 75 years from now, or even like 5 years from now, it's some middle school class in France. And they play, because he's, per Alex Jones, he's going to be dead by then. And they play the tapes of him to a 13 or 14-year-old. They're going to go, they gave up their whole country for him?
Yeah.
Like for that guy that speaks like that, like this is who they gave it up for. It's wild. All right. That's all we have. Please subscribe to our show and we'll see you all later.